let's chat about opening up PDFs on the active panel without having another device like a computer or Chromebook or something of that nature plugged in. First thing you're going to need to make sure is that you've got an app on here that allows PDF reading or for PDFs to open. So if you're getting some kind of error, that could be it. Just do a quick visit to your Google Play Store within your locker. The app that I recommend is called WPS Office. It looks like this. It's a free Office suite for Word, PDF, Excel will let you open up any of those files, especially if you don't have a Microsoft license. So I already have that downloaded and in my locker. So now whenever I go to open up files, it'll automatically prompt to open in that. So let's talk about option one, opening files that you've downloaded to the internal storage of the panel. So I'm going to go into my locker, into my Files app. And then over here on the side, you can see that I have a couple different options, download internal storage, drive in OneDrive, and then if I had a jump drive plugged in, that would appear there as well. And we're going to chat about that in just a second. But option one, from the downloads or internal storage. So you can see here I have this PDF on ratios. So when I choose to open that, this little menu will pop up here at the bottom. I'm going to choose just once, but if you want to always use the WPS Office app for it to open, you can hit always. But notice I have a couple of different other ones that I can choose from to open that PDF. And that will just depend on what you've got downloaded on your panel. So let's go ahead and hit just once. And then once that opens up, you can see that I can manipulate it much like I could with anything else within the whiteboard. I can do a pinch and zoom if I need to make that larger or smaller. I also have the ability to use annotations built in from the app. So if I want to come in here and fill out the answers right here, maybe I want to have a red pen and I want it to be a little bit thicker. So it says, what is the ratio of spoons to forks? So I could walk my students through, okay, so it says spoons first, so that should be in the ratio first, and then it says forks next, so that should be in the ratio second. And then we can go through and count the forks, and go through and count the spoons, and so on and so forth. Now, you also have the ability to use the built-in annotate in here as well, if you choose. I like the ones built into the app versus these from the unified menu, because now when I go to scroll, notice those annotations stick and they don't come with me, so I can continue on. And at the end, if I want to save, those annotations will be saved along with it. So let's talk about if you have PDFs in your Google Drive or OneDrive and not already on the panel. How do you get those? Really the same process. So I'm going to go back home and let's start from square one. So Locker, Files, think of the files as like your My Documents on your computer. And this time, instead of choosing downloads or internal storage, I'm going to actually pick from my Google Drive. And now I can see my Google Drive folders here. If you're a OneDrive user, cool, pick your OneDrive instead. Either way, you'll notice your folders, your files, all that come up. Then you can choose that PDF. So we're going to switch topics here and move over to civics. Open with WPS Office. And then once that loads, you'll see a very similar screen here that you did with our ratios example. I can scroll up and down. When I get to a portion that I want to focus on, I can pinch in and zoom, make that a little bit larger for my students. And then same thing with those annotations there. You also have some other options as far as viewing, converting, and things of that nature. And third and final option, go back home. Let's talk about if you have a file on a jump drive, because a lot of us, especially our veterans here, we have those files saved from years and years and years, definitely still utilize them, but utilize them on the panel with all the great added features. So plug that into the front. And then you're going to go into Locker, Files again. And then now you'll notice that my jump drive is appearing here. I can select it, find a PDF that I want to open, and then bam, repeat the same process. It will open up, I can pinch and zoom, I can make annotations, I can use the Annotate app here, or if I wanted, I can even capture, crop that down, and go in and open that in the whiteboard and use all the great features of the whiteboard here. So lots of options for opening those PDFs from the panel itself, your Google Drive or OneDrive, or a jump drive, and don't forget all the added features that come along with the unified menu and that WPS Office app. Hope that helps. Give us a shout if you have any questions.